How's it going, everybody? My name is M Breezy and welcome back to the Football Manager Streamer Showdown YouTube channel. The stipulations for Season 3 of the FM22 Streamer Showdown has finally been announced, and the managers will have a £400 million budget in order to draft 18 players from the 10 European nations who have already qualified for the 2022 World Cup. And in today's video, I'm going to be going through what I think are the 10 best players on offer in this season's player pool. But before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and whilst you're down there, leave a like on the video as well. Don't forget to get in the comments section as well and let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the players that I've chosen for this particular video. So, we know the budget, we know the player pool. Let's talk about the 10 top player picks for Season 3, starting with number 10. At just £25.5 million, I think Trent AlexanderArnold represents fantastic value for money, especially for the player that you end up getting. The man can do a number of different roles in your team, including fullback, right wing, and can even do a job in central midfield, especially given his outrageous passing and crossing ability. Across Streamer Showdown history, he has been drafted 5 times, playing 51 games and registering 10 assists with an overall average rating of 6.93. I think given how much he's improved since FM20, I can expect there to be even more assists and maybe even some goals added to his name by the end of the FM22 Streamer Showdown cycle. Up next then, at number 9, it's the Roma striker Tammy Abraham, and to coin a popular phrase from the lowdown, he's a big meaty man. He's quick, strong, tall, brilliant in the air, and absolutely deadly in front of goal. Be honest, what more could you ask for from a striker? And I think in this year's game, he's actually quite underrated, and I think he represents fantastic value, especially compared to some of the other strikers that are available in this season's player pool. He's been drafted 5 times in Streamer Showdown history, scoring 28 goals in 48 games and registering 9 assists along with that, as well as a 7.14 average rating. I would not be surprised to see him add even more goals to that already impressive tally by the end of this season. Coming in then at number 8, it's Luis Alberto, and my word, look at those gold attributes. What Luis Alberto may lack physically, he more than makes up for mentally and especially technically. This man is absolutely outrageous, fantastic passing ability, absolutely deadly from set pieces, and he offers a fantastic cheaper alternative compared to some of the other more creative attacking midfielders in this season's player pool. I think especially as there's a £400 million budget, that's something you definitely have to bear in mind. You may have to go for some cheaper alternatives rather than some of the more expensive players on offer, and I think Luis Alberto definitely falls into that camp. He's only been drafted 3 times previously in the Streamer Showdown, playing 35 games, notching up 4 goals and 7 assists with an average rating of 6.96. For me, in this pool, with this budget, he should be absolutely near the top of the list of a lot of the managers competing this season. I think he'll be an absolutely fantastic pickup for whoever gets him. Coming in next then at number 7, it's Dusan Vlahovic, who's been a bit of a breakout star on FM22 this year and in real life as well, and looking at his attributes, it's pretty easy to understand why. Following the most recent winter update, he is even better than he was at the start of this year's game. 18 finishing, 16 composure with those physicals. He's going to be an absolute handful for defenders this weekend, I'm sure. And despite his improved attributes, he's still very reasonably priced in my opinion. Just £42 million gets you this. I mean, what we spoke about with Tammy Abraham. Tall, quick, strong, good in the air. What more could you really ask for in a striker? Interestingly, he's only been drafted once in the showdown. That was the most recent one. He was drafted by Ches, where he scored 5 goals in 10 games and registered just a 6.78 average rating. However, in a better team with better service and playing under a better manager, sorry, Ches, I expect we'll see him right at the top of the goal scoring charts this time around, and I think whoever gets him will have an absolute goal machine on their hands. Coming in then at number 6. Now, I promise you this is not a biased pick. I actually think Declan Rice is a very underrated midfielder in this year's game. He can do a number of roles in that defensive midfield position, the central midfield position, and if you needed him to be, could even be a pretty capable centre-back. I think with some of the updates to his mental attributes, I think he represents pretty decent value for money at just £43.5 million. If it was me personally, I think his most effective role is that box-to-box midfield position. That high work rate and that high natural fitness makes him brilliant in that particular role. He's been drafted 4 times across Streamer Showdown history, registering 3 assists and dropping, I'll be honest, a disappointing 6.53 average rating overall. However, I think he's a much better player this year, and if used, like I said, in that box-to-box role, I think he could definitely end up contributing some assists and maybe even some more goals this time around. We're at the halfway point now, so coming in at number 5. A Streamer Showdown Hall of Famer at this point, it is Sergej Malinkovic, or more commonly known to most of you, I'm sure, SMS. This man, in my opinion, is one of the best, probably the best central midfield option that you could go for this season. Physically, he's just an absolute monster. He's an absolute threat from set pieces because he's so good in the air. I think technically he's outstanding as well. He's got a brilliant long shot on him. Just an overall perfect midfielder in my opinion. He's been drafted 4 times previously and has a very impressive record of 21 goals and 7 assists in 43 games with an average rating of 7.11. Trust me when I say that anyone who has this man in their team has a much higher chance of walking away with the Showdown crown. Right then, next up at number 4. I mean, this man just has to be on the list, doesn't he? The best centre-back in the game, Mr. Virgil van Dijk. There are just simply no weaknesses to this man's game. He is absolutely fantastic in the air. His passing ability for a centre-back is quite simply outrageous, and he's fantastic with either foot. Honestly, for £63 million, that feels like a bargain for the player you're getting. I mean, just look at the amount of gold attributes, his mentals, his physicals, his technicals. He's quite, again, I said it already, quite simply the best centre-back in the game this year. Interestingly, he has been drafted 6 times in previous Streamer Showdowns, which makes him the most drafted player in Streamer Showdown history. 8 goals in 67 games and a 7.09 average rating. This man will be top of the priority list for a lot of the managers this weekend. I'm sure of it. We're coming to the business end of the video now, viewers. Coming in next at number 3. Now, Romelu Lukaku, in my opinion, is one of the best strikers in the game this year, and quite simply, the best striker that is on offer this weekend. Ignore his real-life form for a minute. In FM22, the man is an absolute monster. Just look at the absolute state of those physicals. 18 pace, 16 jumping reach, and 20 strength. And that's before you even get on to the amount of gold in those mental attributes and those technical attributes. Ultimately, let's face it, if you've got this man running at your defence as manager, there's not really a whole lot you can do to stop him. To go a little bit Michael Owen on you for a second, ultimately, goals win games, and Romelu Lukaku will score plenty of goals this weekend if someone does indeed draft him. And his Showdown record of 28 goals in 38 games with a 7.15 average rating, having been drafted 4 times previously, more than backs that point up. He will be the difference maker for whoever drafts him this weekend. Mark my words. Time for the penultimate player on the list. Exciting, is it, viewers? Who have we got at number 2? Now, what's not to love about the absolute workhorse that is Joshua Kimmich? Mentally, he is one of the best players to get from the player pool this season. His 20 work rate and determination make for an unbelievable option to have in midfield. It's not just midfield that he can play either. As you can see, he can do a number of different roles. Right back, right wing back, defensive midfield, centre back, right mid, left mid. The man can do everything. Ultimately, his versatility is just another one of his main strengths, as he does give you a number of options tactically. He's been drafted twice in previous Showdowns, scoring 3 goals and assisting 4 in 28 games with an average rating of 7.03. He may be expensive at £78 million, but for what he offers you in an 18-man squad across a Streamer Showdown weekend, I think he could be invaluable. So then, viewers, we made it to number 1, the top player to draft from this weekend's player pool. It is, of course, Kevin De Bruyne. There was no way this man was not going to be top of this list. Quite simply, he is the best midfielder available from the player pool this weekend, and arguably probably the best midfielder in the game this year. Simply put, there are no cons to drafting this man for your squad. I mean, the technical attributes are absolutely outstanding. He's absolutely deadly from set pieces and just a creative mastermind. Despite a surprising 6.93 overall average rating in Streamer Showdowns, having been drafted 4 times and registering 6 goals and 8 assists, I think Kevin De Bruyne has plenty more to offer, and I think whoever drafts him, if they use him correctly and build a good team around him, they have a very good chance of going all the way and maybe even winning the Streamer Showdown come Sunday. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those were my top 10 player picks for Season 3 of the Streamer Showdown in FM22. Remember, get in the comment section, let me know what you thought of the picks, and don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And most importantly, make sure you are following all the action of Season 3 of the FM Streamer Showdown over at twitch.tv/FM Streamer Showdown. The action kicks off this weekend. Until the next video, I've been M Breezy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.